Hello, I Anonymous One, man with no name. Is this mess that I were just a gimmick to gain fame? I used up idea to get some publicity? Not quite, it hides me so that I can stay free. Are the stories I tell made up of lies and fiction? You be the judge, I'm not here to convince you, I'm just telling some tales of the things that I've done. Memoirs of mass murder from my Anonymous One. Like I said before, details are a little obscured. If they knew about me, they'd arrest me for sure. So don't even try to figure out who I am. My name is Straight Hate and we'll just leave it at that. Love me or hate me, I'm coming after that top spot. I am Straight Hate and I'm made of everything that you're not. When I was a kid, I set my house on fire. I lost both of my parents in that funeral pyre. So you ask how the fuck did a killer flow the way that I do? I owe it all to my granny, she taught me all that she knew. Not about killing, I learned that shit on my own. Started with neighborhood pets before I was half grown. Murdered my first man when I was 13. Check out the first time and you'll see what I mean. Although I walk amongst you, I smile, I keep it inside. My thoughts are never far away from fucking genocide. Some of you know me, but do you really know me? Look in my eyes and tell me, what do you see? A crafty composer that's taken over the top spot? Or a psychotic motherfucker that'll convince you I'm not? And perhaps I made the wrong impression to some of you scrubbelos. I wasn't disrespecting your family, that's just how that one goes. But like I said in that piece, I'll give psychopathic their props, but you Michigan killers are gonna respect what I've got. I am that West Coast sicko when they call me Straight Hate. I'm that Anonymous One cause I don't wanna be great. But I spit with the best, I've killed more than the rest. I'm the psychotic motherfucker and I'll put you to the test. But I've got a couple problems and one of them's dough. I've got a grip of sick shit but I don't know where to go. I've been locked the fuck up because I made a mistake. I did 12 years for murder before they cut me a break, and now I'm back on the streets and I'm antisocial as fuck. Trying to make ends meet, but punching the clock really sucks. So I'm putting this out and I'm filled with ambition. I'm trying to get a little help to gain a little recognition. And I'm not greedy, a cool million's okay. I'll make somebody rich if you can show me a way to get my shit up out there and pull me up out of this pit. I am that Anonymous One and your face as real as it gets. And not to sell myself short, consider this an invitation. It goes out to Violent J, that killer homie across the nation. What do you say about spitting a few with straight hate? Help me a brother so that I can be great. You were my inspiration, now let me inspire you. Let's put our sick minds together and see what we can do. You've already got bitches, lots of money and fame, but I'm hating it out here and being broke is so lame. So hit me up, check out some of the shit that I've done. My name is Straight Hate and I'm not Anonymous One. Anyway, that's a little, pretty much a little introductory piece. I remember the first time down by the tracks, a guy hacked up the wino with a motherfucking axe. I saw him sleeping in a cardboard shack. I stomped him, then buried the blade in his back. It was so much better than I dreamed it would be. When I saw that blood, something happened to me. I felt so high when I took his life, so I dropped the axe and grabbed my knife. I kept on stabbing even though he was dead. I'd never get the first time out of my head. And by that August day that I turned 18, I had 6 bloody secrets known only to me. Winos couldn't satisfy that urge anymore, so that night I killed my first family of 4. Through a basement window, I found my way in. I tripped over some shit and I smacked my shin. I said, "Oh fuck," just a little too loud. And a dog started barking and I tried to get out. Before I knew it, he was on top of me, a big fucking dog with big fucking teeth. That's about all I'm gonna divulge of that one. Yeah, I had kind of a rough fucking time growing up, I'll tell you what. I was an ugly little fucker and I wanted to die. From the time that I was born, I knew that I was different from the rest. The ones that laughed, the same motherfuckers that would taste my wrath. A killer, of course, but that gets old. So hard to satisfy, black and cold. I remember the ones that pointed at me. Talked shit, had their fun. I began to see a purpose, for which I believed I was destined to fulfill a growing need. So at 13, I killed my first man. It was just a wino, but I began to understand that the blood I spilled and the life I took was sacred to me like your holy book. Then in the summer of 1979, I found a way that I could hide. Only for a while in the dark of my room, I became the ones that I slew. With careful precision I removed the face, stitched on straps my rise to grace. I put the face on, and for once I was whole. I looked in the mirror and I couldn't control the emotions I felt. Tears of joy, a beautiful me, a wonderful boy. Mommy would be proud if she could see, no longer was I that ugly creep. Charming smile, even though it's not mine, not a great fit, but it looked just fine, so I played a little game in the dark of the night. Dancing and singing, what a beautiful sight. But then the face got hard and it started to stink. But for a moment that night, I felt like a king. Yeah. Speaking of foster parents, I wasn't happy as a kid, and everything I did, it was never good enough, so they hit me with a stick. Told me that I was fat and wouldn't amount to shit. The hand-me-downs I wore to school didn't even fit. They never bought me any toys and they burned the ones I stole. I tried to hold the tears back, but sometimes I lost control. I hated them so much, but I was forced to endure all the hell they put me through, but one thing was for sure. Someday I would get even and forever change the score. All the mental bullshit was too much to ignore. So when I turned 13 on that bloody August day, as usual I got no presents, not even a birthday cake. So I grabbed a fucking butcher knife out of the kitchen drawer, decided I didn't need those motherfuckers anymore. Into the TV room, as mother washed her soap, I walked right up behind her and I cut her fucking throat. Blood was gushing as she grabbed her neck and fell. I kicked her in the face and said, I hope you rot in hell. Out to the garage where father drank his gin. I couldn't help but smiling, thinking I get to kill again. Standing at the workbench, 3 inches of sweaty crack. He never even saw me when I stabbed him in the back. Pops at the floor and he looked up at his son. He stared into the eyes of the demon I'd become. I stabbed and slashed till dear old dad was dead. I snatched up a hammer and I smashed his fucking head. I drank me a cool and with a smile on my face, then I grabbed a can of gas and doused the fucking place. I lit that motherfucking match and I walked out the door. And I felt so good inside knowing that night I had no chores. Alright, we're gonna do a piece right here called Heads. Yeah, like fucking domes. Rolling down the street with fucking heads on the backseat. Little souvenirs that I like to keep. Sightless eyes with no expression. Twisted look of death from my lapse into regression. The mother and the father of both of the kids still looked so sweet as the first time they did. The day I found them, pulling out of the store. When I saw them, I knew I needed so much more. So I followed them home and formulated my plan. 2 weeks later, here I am. Rolling down the street with fucking heads on the backseat, making my way to my cozy retreat with my trophies. 4 more for the wall. Everybody I've killed, I've taken them all. They give me comfort. When I'm feeling alone, everybody always says that a family makes a home. 3 blocks from my pad, there's a cop behind me, so I grab my Glock from under the seat. He pulls me over, walks up to the door. I've already killed 4, so what's 1 more? 1 hand's on his gun and 1's on his mace. I just rolled down the window and I shot him in the fucking face, hollow point. His head explodes. That's 1 dome that I won't be taking home. But that's okay, I hate cops anyway, and I wouldn't want the pig hanging out of my place. Last one here. This goes out to all you psychopathic faggots out there with your faces painted up and shit. I'm just playing. But here it is. Dark Lotus, Twisted, and ICP. I'll give them their props, but they can't fuck with me. Carnivals and clowns, what are you trying to be funny? Paint your fucking faces, you're just in it for the money. Coming off of the rhymes, a bunch of fucking lies. You can tell that they're bluffing when you look into their eyes. I don't like clowns, they remind me of a bitch that once did me dirty, so I left her in a ditch with her tits cut off and stabbed full of holes. And I think about her when I see those fucking juggalos. Cause I'm the kind of motherfucker that spits out that shit, and your face details as real as it gets. I change a few things so they'll never suspect. It's all based on fact, but I have to protect myself, so I don't end up on a table, strapped down with IEDs meant to disable. Ridgway, Dahmer, Gacy, and Gein, I'll give them their credit, but they can't get with me. They all got caught because they made some mistakes, keeping shit around the house like fucking keepsakes. They were hunters and killers with whom I can relate. We're the kind of motherfuckers that are driven by hate. They call us monsters, wicked, insane, beasts in human skin, too vile to contain. But I'm not fucking around and I'm not leaving a clue. Taking souvenirs is the last thing that I do. Except for the heads, but they're in a safe place. I had to move them because they took up too much space. And now I'm all alone and I admit it kinda sucks. But they were starting to stink, so I don't really give a fuck. Anyway, if you like that shit, I got plenty more where that come from.